we start with the mess in Miami with the Dolphins, Tua and Mike McDaniel. Sounds like a group of players who don't care all that much about what the quarterback has to say to them. Truth is, I'm not sure he realized he's calling himself out. Tyreek Hill isn't even around to entertain us. No wonder he seemed so happy when he was carted off the field. Other than Tua, who else in that locker room is someone that's going to lead that group right now? They've fallen off a cliff. They're about to hit rock bottom. The Dolphins spiral continues. Tua called out unnamed teammates after Miami fell to 1-5 on the season. I mean, dumb to do so. Tua said Dolphins players have been showing up late. Some player meetings that are mandatory, some not. Here's Tua Tagovailoa post-game following their loss.
Well, I think it starts with the leadership in helping articulate that for the guys, and then what we're expecting out of the guys, right? We're expecting this. Are we getting that? Are we not getting that? We have guys showing up to player-only meetings late, guys not showing up to player-only meetings. Like, there's a lot that goes into that. Do we have to make this mandatory? Do we not have to make this mandatory? So it's a lot of things of that nature that we got to get cleaned up, and it starts with the little things like that.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very little. Sounds like a group of players who don't care all that much about what the quarterback has to say to them. And truth is, I'm not sure he realized he's calling himself out right there. He's the leader. He's the team captain. The quarterback bringing up player meetings won't win over teammates who already don't follow his lead or Mike McDaniel's leadership. They're 1-5. He's getting fired soon. And the head coach first backed what Tua said. That was Sunday when he clearly hadn't heard specifically what Tua laid out. McDaniel actually pointed out Tua's direct communication as an asset in that instance. But then he changed his mind on how he felt, admitting his quarterback needs to lead better than he did in that Sunday postgame presser.
It doesn't surprise me, whatever reaction. I think, regardless of an intent and, what was on Tua's mind, after a loss as the franchise quarterback, that's not the forum to displace that. I think he knows that now. I do honestly believe it was not, there's no ill intention, but you're talking about, I think kind of a misguided representation of player orchestrated film sessions. And the bottom line is no one's going to be happy and always is looking for reasons for failure to succeed.
Let me point out, imagine, and I like Mike McDaniel, imagine being 1-5 and listening to that demeanor and tone from a head coach. Tua was saying in those post-game comments, do we need to make meetings mandatory? Because it sounds like he wants the head coach to say that they're mandatory so teammates will actually show up. And the fact that they're not showing or showing up late shows that they don't respect the guy calling the meeting, which is likely 9 times out of 10 the quarterback. He's frustrated. The roster isn't responding to him. And other than Tua, who else in that locker room is someone that's going to lead that group right now? They've fallen off a cliff. They're about to hit rock bottom. And it wasn't that long ago that I felt like they were on the cliff, balancing on the edge of big success or just total collapse. They've had plenty of injuries. Tua's concussion issues are the most recognized. But the truth is, Miami had a contending window open recently, and they fell flat on their face. They haven't recovered. That was the 2023 season. They went 11-5. Then they had to go on the road to play the Chiefs in -4-degree weather, lost by 3 possessions. That was the same season they posted 70 on Denver, then lost to the Bills by 28 points. That was the very next week. Gave up a 14-point lead to the Titans. Those AFC losses cost them home field in the playoffs. This roster will lose its mind before the season ends. Coach is going to lose his job. The general manager likely as well. Players are going to mail it in like they have with Tua. Tyreek Hill isn't even around to entertain us with his input on this problem. No wonder he seemed so happy when he was carted off the field in Week 5. He was even tired of the mess in Miami. This episode of Hot Mic brought to you by Prize Picks. I love this app because with Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Prize Picks, simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you can cash in. Follow my lead here. Let's all cash in. Here is my 4-pick power play winner for Week 7. Start with Rams running back Kyren Williams to score a touchdown against Jacksonville. He accounts for 31% of Rams touchdowns. And if Nakua can't go, he'll be used even more. Add Titans running back Tony Pollard to rush for more than 49.5 yards. Yes, the Patriots defense is good against the run, but I think the Titans are going to want to run the clock, help the rookie quarterback, especially with the coaching change. And I always add in the workhorse for the Colts, Jonathan Taylor, NFL's leading rusher. He scores a touchdown Sunday against the Chargers in what should be a high-scoring game. Finally, tack on a Lions sack by Aidan Hutchinson. He's going to record a sack. He's done that in 5 straight games. He adds another one on Monday Night Football. 4-pick power play, $5 to pay out $35. Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join us here at OutKick and millions of users by signing up today. Download the app. Use the code HOTMIC, HOTMIC. HOTMIC gets you $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code HOTMIC to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. Armando Salguero, right around the corner here on Hot Mic.
Football's finally back. So's the hard-hitting gridiron action on Prize Picks. Download Prize Picks and use code OutKick and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play $5. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
6th and Peabody, our location with Yaw Beer and Old Smoky Moonshine. It is Hot Mic with Hutton Withbro here at OutKick.com. Chad with a well-deserved week off, fall break for the kids, so they're enjoying the beach. That's where you can find Armando Salguero. If you're not following him, you should be. The always wonderful Armando Salguero joins us here on Hot Mic. Armando, good to see you, man. Hope things are well.
It's been a couple of weeks, sir. So thank you. I thought I was banned.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We refuse that. We thought it was on our end. We did something to you.
Well, that is true. That does happen every episode that I'm on here. I leave scarred and abused, but that's okay. I like it.
Hey, man. So let's start with not the coach who was fired, but the coach who likely is going to be, and Mike McDaniel. I got done speaking on this. I'm going to get your take. He rebuffed what Tua said after actually backing him initially, which was bizarre. And what was a dumb move by Tua to go public, which you wrote about thoroughly at OutKick. 1-5 start. Leadership is certainly an issue. What's gone on there? Why have they gotten to this point? And honestly, if you're a player who's a follower, who are you following?
Yeah, you're asking yourself that. First of all, these players don't think that they're followers, although by their actions, we kind of get that a lot of them are. They're like everybody else. They're part of the population, and the general population is not all alphas.
Yeah.
There's a lot of betas, and so there is that. Look, the whole Tua thing, it's concerning because he was telling on himself. He is a team captain, right? He is the starting quarterback. By every metric, he has to be a leader on that team. And not should be, must be.
Yeah.
And the leader of that team at once is calling out the leadership. Dude, that's you. That is you. You are the leadership. And then the fact that he's doing it publicly is ridiculous. It's insane. I've never seen that done. Because how, if I'm a player on that team and the quarterback decides to go public with that, how do I trust him?
Right.
how do I know that the next time he's frustrated, he's not going to lose control of his mouth like it's an errant pass and talk about me to the reporters? It's just weird. And the fact that Mike McDaniel, even the next day in saying Tua shouldn't have done this, he kind of defended Tua. So dude, plant your flag somewhere and stay on that and defend that. But Mike McDaniel, also a guy that's not a great leader.
Yeah.
He struggles to do that because he doesn't want to turn his quarterback into jelly and have him collapse.
My guess would be if no one's following Tua, no one's following McDaniel, so he doesn't know what to say because he's probably seeing the same thing. Again, don't know. You would, but I don't know. No one, Stephen Ross on down. I don't know what's going on there. Certainly can't say this. I can't answer the same question about the Tennessee Titans. I don't disagree with the decision to fire Brian Callahan, but man, what a mess from decision makers here in Nashville, Armando. Cam Ward is struggling. Mike Vrabel's coming to town this week. Here's Mike Vrabel earlier this week discussing his return to Nashville and Nissan Stadium as the head coach of the New England Patriots.
This is going to be probably a lot to be said about this, and I think would fall under the category of, is it interesting or important? And I would probably say this would be very interesting, but in the end, not very important.
It's going to be interesting because Vrabel wants to go for the jugular. And I don't think there's any coincidence that the move was made at head coach prior to Vrabel coming to town, Armando, because I don't think Amy Adams Strunk wants to give him the satisfaction of having any credit for moving on from their coach that replaced Vrabel.
That's a fair assessment. And if we accept that that's a fair assessment, it tells you that the priorities are wrong in Tennessee, right? The priority that you just mentioned would be, it's bad, and I don't want to be embarrassed further. Instead of the priority being, let's get this right. That should be the only priority of all 32 NFL teams. Win. And let's not get embarrassed. It's ridiculous. By the way, it's ironical, as one NFL player once said to me, that in a year and in the last couple of years where players who didn't exactly play great early on in their careers are playing great now, the Tennessee Titans already are punting on a coach because they're afraid that after 6 games, their number 1 draft pick is not performing to snuff.
Yeah.
I hope that does not insinuate that the evaluation of Cam Ward after 6 games, which led in part to the ouster of the head coach, will be done on a game-by-game, season 1, season 2, you're gone type of basis, because that would be a mistake, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. I haven't seen him. That was the issue, is we weren't seeing improvement. We were seeing regression. Like that. I don't know where there was no creativity with what they were doing. I don't know. It's a very dull, boring offense that was really bad, and they're bottom of the league with the cellar of the NFL. Armando, they had scored 12 first half points over the last 4 weeks or something. I mean, 4 wins for Brian Callahan. Vrabel's already got 4 wins in New England.
Yeah. Look, but Brian Callahan was collaborating better.
Sure, he was nice.
You remember?
Oh,
that was the
collaboration.
Reason that Mike Vrabel got ousted.
Yep.
Not a good collaborator.
Yep. And both met the same fate.
Again, priorities. Our priorities is collaboration, not winning. And honestly, if you had to rank coaches before he was fired.
Mm.
Now, Mike Vrabel is in the top 6, 7 coaches in the NFL, maybe higher. And I'm not saying that because the Patriots are in first place in the AFC East.
Mm-hmm.
I've said that for years, and I think a lot of people have said that for years.
How about Drake May's play? I mean, he's not leading the discussion for MVP, but man, has he skyrocketed in the odds. I know it's early to do this, but I'm just pointing out how we were talking about how Cam Ward has regressed. It's been 6 games, but I'm pointing this out. Drake Maye continues to ascend, and I mean he's extremely competitive. So is Mike Vrabel. I think it's a perfect match, head coach to quarterback, and of course with McDaniels. They haven't had this type of start since Brady was there, and prior to that, it was like 2001 or 99, something like that.
So Drake Maye is getting better, and I don't think that anyone's going to say, well, he's got a star-studded lineup all the way across,
right?
Because obviously Cam Ward does not.
No,
right?
No.
Cam Ward has a bad offensive line in front of him. And his wide receivers are the AAA wide receivers, except for Calvin Ridley, who's playing like a AAA.
And he's hurt.
Receiver. Yeah. So Drake Maye is performing despite the fact that team is not yet fully formed. The Patriots are not yet the team that Vrabel wants. Mm-hmm. It's the team he's got, but they're not finished. And when they finish, it suggests that things are going to be pretty good again in New England if they continue on their current course. The question now is, what do the Titans do? Who do they hire? Where does this search lead? And I would say to you, look to start with the Kansas City Chiefs. Start there, because that's a good place to start, and there's history there. In the current leadership in Tennessee.
Man, that's if Borgonzi's making the hire. I mean, honestly, I don't know. We'll find out. I mean, they're going to have plenty of time to go through their that's how crazy it is. Borgonzi's the general manager, and Chad Brinker's doing all the talking the other day. And then he's looking at Borgonzi whenever their tough questions are flying. It is a bizarre setup in Nashville. I want to go rapid fire with you here. How do you explain Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers right now at 5-1?
I explain it as the following: Baker Mayfield needs a cart to roll around to carry parts of his anatomy.
Yeah. A wheelbarrow.
So there's that, and that's why they've won 3 games on the final play or final minute of the game. And, he was always talented, but they've really accentuated that talent.
Mahomes having one of his best statistical seasons in years off to the start he's on. He's the team's leading rusher. He's throwing into tight windows. He's not turning the football over. The receivers are doing what they can for him as well. Look, the last 2 years I've mailed it in on Kansas City. And here they are, and Mahomes is still QB1. I mean, he's still getting it done.
Breaking. Patrick Mahomes is good.
I know. And no matter the lineup. And now Rashee Rice is back this week.
Exactly. And as I wrote at OutKick this week, they think privately that they're going to start a surge.
Okay.
They have people in that building that think that they're better than last year. And last year they won 15 games and they went to the Super Bowl. So we'll see, but the belief is there in Kansas City.
The Bills have lost 2 straight, Patriots and Falcons. Run defense, we saw what Bijan Robinson did to them the other night. What do you make of Buffalo now, and is this just your typical lull before they spark up again?
It's not your typical lull because they need talent. They need bodies. All of a sudden, that victory over Baltimore that looked amazing.
The comeback, it was great. But I'm with you.
Right?
Yeah.
The first week of the year, they won 41-40.
Yeah.
Baltimore's not that good. And neither are some of the other teams, or most of the other teams they've beaten.
Speaking of Baltimore, only 4 teams have made the playoffs after a 1-5 start, but 3 of those 4 have happened since 2015. Lamar Jackson's supposed to be back after the bye week this week, and he's either going to lead them with the turnaround or he's not. The last 4 weeks they've been outscored like 150-60. Can he do this? Can he turn things around when he returns, or is this too much, too little, too late based on the injury and where they are right now? Even given the division and the AFC, which seems to be very middle of the pack.
Lamar Jackson is going to be, once he comes back, and the expectation in Baltimore is after this bye week.
Yep.
Once he comes back, he needs to be 2024 Joe Burrow. And what I mean by that is he needs to throw 35 touchdown passes, maybe 38, 40, because that defense is troubled. They were losing before Lamar Jackson got hurt.
Yes, they were.
Including 41-40 to Buffalo. So Lamar Jackson in the opening weekend got 40 points on the board for his team and took an L. Think about that.
Yeah.
So did Lamar Jackson save a team that took an L when the offense scored 40 points? That's going to be hard. It's not impossible because he is special, but to basically just assume like it's going to happen, I don't know, man. I think you're looking at an 8-9, 9-8 kind of team.
Are you buying the Harbaugh crossroads moment this season, or are you not buying that yet? There's a I think after you've been at a place for so long, that talk's always going to happen. We saw it with Tomlin. Is it happening in Baltimore?
That's confidence talk. That's coach speak. That's
okay.
A little faith sprinkled in there and hope. I can't say that someone on the outside could look at that as expectation.
Yeah, fair. How about the big conference matchups this week? We've got Bucs Lions on Monday Night Football, 49ers Falcons is Sunday Night Football, Commanders Cowboys, Colts Chargers, and Eagles-Vikings. I bring up Eagles-Vikings. Eagles have lost 2 straight. There's friction again. Go figure with that roster. They love to hate each other. It's concerning, though, that Dallas Goedert is the quarterback's most consistent target right now in the passing game. How is that possible?
He is the most quarterback-friendly of all the receivers. He runs out every route, which I think we now
okay. I'll buy that.
That A.J. Brown doesn't necessarily. And the quarterback feels comfortable, and sometimes the coverage dictates that way. By the way, it's amazing that you included in week 7 of the NFL season the Colts game, because the Colts are your super team right now.
Man, it's insane. They're the number 1 seed in the AFC. They're the leading offense. I mean, it's bizarre to see what they're doing. And you know what? It's not a fluke, though. I mean, they're good up front on both lines. They can run the football very well. And whatever they're getting out of Daniel Jones is peak Danny Dimes. My God. I mean, I think they're for real. I don't buy Jacksonville. I buy Indy out of that division.
It's actually a fluke that they're not undefeated, because if you'll remember the game that they lost to the Rams, Adonai Mitchell had that fumble at the goal line.
Yes.
And then he had the penalty that knocked another touchdown off the board in a game that they lost by 7 points.
Jackson Dart, since he's been the starter, offense is averaging 23 points per game. Scadaboo's just crushing it. I mean, this is a fun Giants team to watch all of a sudden. There's typically always one of these small rookie storylines that fades out, dissipates. We didn't see it last year with Jaden Daniels. Is this the 2025 version of that? Maybe not to the success rate, but the play rate.
Yeah, you're right about the success rate. I don't think that anyone is predicting the New York Giants will be in the NFC Championship
game absolutely not.
At the end of the year. But they are suddenly fun to watch. And so first of all, you've got a hot head coach, which I love.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what he's going to do next after he gets finished yelling at the team doctor and trying to go into the blue medical tent.
Get Russell Wilson out of the game. Let's go. Let's get this done.
Secondly, you've got a quarterback that's high-fiving a referee.
Oh, I know. I mean,
while arguing, you've got a 5'9" full guy running back who's white, who thinks he's like, Larry Zonka.
Yeah.
It's they're a fun team. It's a shame that Malik Neighbors is done for the year.
Good point.
That's too bad. But they're going to be interesting to watch, and a very stark and bitter contrast in New York City to the New York Jets.
Finally, old guy football. Speaking of old school, we've got Rodgers and Flacco this week. Steelers, they could use George Pickens all of a sudden because they've got Calvin Austin, who's injured this week. Pickens is putting up just baller numbers in Dallas. Is receiver going to come back and bite Pittsburgh at some point? They've got DK Metcalf, who's playing well, and if not now Austin, if he's out with the shoulder for a bit, that means bad things for Rodgers, right?
It's not great, but I get the feel that sometimes it's addition by subtraction.
Yeah, this is Pittsburgh's being Pittsburgh, right? They're just winning.
Right. George Pickens is riding high now. He's benefiting from the fact that CeeDee Lamb is on the other side and always gets double teamed. But if you're thinking George Pickens is the reason that the Pittsburgh Steelers might not, go as far as they could, that would have been an interesting dynamic with Aaron Rodgers. I don't think Aaron Rodgers would put up with George Pickens,
Yeah, that's fair.
Let's put it that way.
Tomlin wouldn't either. Hey, one final thing. 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, all 4-2. As of today, who would you take to win that division?
It depends. What does the ambulance say? The ambulance, if the ambulance tells me that it's going to stop picking up San Francisco 49ers players and maybe actually bring some back into the lineup, I think I like the 49ers. But, what can I tell you? We don't know. And even now the Rams with Puka Nacua, they're hurting a little bit. If Sam Darnold wins the AFC West,
I know.
Oh my God! Once again, the don't cut us, don't give up on us brigade will go, yay us!
Baker and then Seattle with Sam Darnold. My God, yeah, you're right. Hey man, always great to catch up with you, and join us next week if you don't mind.
I will mark it down on my calendar.
All right, man. Good to see you. Armando Salguero. If you don't like Armando, that's a you problem. He's one of the best dudes around. You can read his great work at OutKick.com, covering all things National Football League. Brooks Austin is the film guy. He's got the Film Guy Network. We break down college football at the highest level. We start with some big SEC matchups straight ahead here on Hot Mic.
Football's finally back. So's the hard-hitting gridiron action on prizepicks. Download prizepicks and use code OutKick and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play $5. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Glad you're with us this morning here on OutKick. Hot Mic Hunting Withrow here at OutKick.com. Brooks Austin joins us. He's the Film Guy, the Film Guy Network. You can find that and subscribe on YouTube. Brooks, good to see you, man. Glad you're back.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, no doubt. Glad to be back, man.
Hey, man, two SEC road teams can verify their place for sure in the college football playoff discussion this weekend. Tennessee and Ole Miss. Who do you trust the most to actually win on the road?
Ooh, probably. I like what Ole Miss's defense is doing right now. I mean, they're struggling against the run, but they're making teams consistently walk it. Tennessee's getting back to doing this.
Yeah.
Arkansas had 5 offensive scoring drives last week. All 5 of them were 9+ plays. I mean, they really made Arkansas earn the right to get into the box and score a touchdown. So both teams are doing better things on the defensive side of the football. Tennessee's offense travels a little bit better, though. The real question about these football teams on the road is, does the offense show up? Historically, Lane Kiffin's offenses are 40 points plus at home. They're 20+ points on the road. Like they're a totally different offensive performance unit on the road historically. So that would be my bigger question going into that one, not necessarily the defenses. Both of those defenses are, man, we hope you make a play at some point in this drive to get us off the field.
Yeah.
But normally they're going to allow teams to kind of matriculate the football.
Man, let's dive in on the quarterback play for Tennessee, Joey Aguilar. I look at this and I think, can he have a Gunnar Stockton-like moment on the road, the way Gunnar Stockton did against Tennessee at Neyland Stadium? Because Ty Simpson's going to have his moments. Like we've seen that, right? He's shown he can take advantage of a banged-up secondary and throw some seeds.
Yeah.
Do you think Aguilar has those types of plays against Bama?
Yeah, I mean, he had a couple of not bad interceptions, but a couple of tipped and missed spot interceptions over the middle of the field on the road against Mississippi State, but really closed that game very strongly. Like the things that you're like looking for in terms of like execution, tight window throws down the stretch when everyone knows you have to go make plays.
Yep.
I thought he did that against Mississippi State. Now, you can demean the level of competition, and I'm okay with that. Doing it on the road at Mississippi State's a little bit different than doing it on the road at Alabama. So I'm with you, but we've kind of checked some of those boxes already at a lesser level, right? We've done some things in fourth quarters of football games that I think are relatively impressive. I thought they did enough to put themselves in position to win that football game against Georgia. I think had it not been for a field goal kicker pushing one wide right, we're sitting here talking about an undefeated Tennessee on the road. Maybe, Vegas looking at this slightly different with just one missed field goal. So I thought offensively they've done plenty. The quarterback's playing good ball. Just going to have to avoid the catastrophic turnover this weekend. I'm not one that worries about his interception rates because he doesn't have I didn't see that defensive back interceptions. He doesn't have I threw it into the face of a defender interceptions. He's got I'm competing into too tight of a window, ball gets tipped interceptions. We can kind of live with those because you live with the results positively as well. All the explosives, all the tight window throws that he makes, you have to take those, man.
Hey, I realize that Auburn had a week to prepare here, but do you think Kiffin can scheme some things offensively that Georgia hasn't prepared for the way that Hugh Freeze did in this game?
So I don't know if there's going to be we haven't seen that on tape type of plays. That was what was really interesting about that game last week is when Kirby Smart comes to the microphone post game and says they ran things that we didn't rep. Meaning they ran things that we hadn't seen all year or in years on tape from this offense, and then they installed it this week, and they kind of got us with it. That I don't think that's going to happen, no. But you talk about scheming, that's what Lane Kiffin does, especially now, and Kirby talked about that this week, with the way that they can talk to the quarterbacks nowadays all the way up until that 15 seconds. That means at Ole Miss, you've got a full 25 seconds to talk to that guy, get the cleats in the ground, see what the defense is doing, and tell him where the defense is ultimately vulnerable. And everybody knows this. This isn't a new take. This isn't me discovering new information. But it's not just that Lane Kiffin is a brilliant offensive mind, play caller, and designer. It's that his dad was arguably one of the greatest defensive minds to ever live and walk this planet. And for 45 years of Lane's life, a lot of his young adult professional career, he and Monty are on similar staffs. They're working together. They're having conversations, not just about, hey, what is this defense running? But more importantly, how is this defense vulnerable? Where is this defense weak? And Lane does a great job of calling plays every down to attack the vulnerabilities of the defense that he's seen.
Yeah, great point. Brooks Austin with us, Film Guide Network on YouTube. Vanderbilt LSU, got a great battle here in Nashville where we get the Vanderbilt offense against the LSU defense, a defense that's posted 15 or 16 sacks on the season. Tigers secondary that's very underrated. to this point. Pavia against that, home field, all that is. I realize the LSU offense is what it is, but do you expect a high-scoring affair here, or is this a knockdown, drag-out game in the trenches?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. You said it best. The LSU's offense is what it is. I said on our show last night, I'm done going into these games talking about the key to the matchup being LSU establishing the run. No, they just ain't going to do it. No. They're just not. It's just not going to happen. They're not able to run the ball, okay? It's not that they don't want to. They have an inability to do so. So for LSU, it's just about, are they going to turn it over? Is Nussmeier going to make bad decisions? Or is he going to be able to matriculate the ball and contain and maintain possessions, do enough to score 24 points, 20 points? I'm with you. I see a rock fight coming about. LSU's defense is great, right? They're really individually talented. They play great as a collective unit. My only question going to this football game is identities, right? Like, the Blake Baker identity of hunting and seeking and chaos, like just getting havoc plays and not necessarily all that too worried about eye discipline, just more worried about the hunt and creating the negatives. Well, playing Vanderbilt offense and playing them defensively is about down-to-down disciplines. It's about down-to-down eye discipline, making sure we're in the right spot, making sure we're fitting things perfectly every single time. I worry about that matchup going into this one. Like, I thought Vandy spent the first 6 weeks of the season and first 5 games of the season trying to develop downfield vertical passing attacks so they could beat a football team like Alabama, so they could outscore a football team like Alabama, and they failed to do so by turning it over. Pavia was a turnover machine in that football game. I think they get back to winning like Vandy wins these football games, limiting possessions, shortening the time, like really methodically moving the football. I keep using that word, but like really chunking it up like 3, 4, 5 yards, cloud of dust type of style instead of these hunting explosives like they were through the first 5 games.
Clark Lee against Brian Kelly, too, will be fun to watch defensively against what's a very bad offense right now. Indiana with a statement win in Eugene. What did you learn about them that you didn't already know based on the way they played?
I mean, I knew this about them, but I think it was confirmed. First time in a big-time matchup, right? They absorbed the identity of their football coach. I feel like their football coach is on the verge of chaos and on the verge of explosion at all times. You watch him on the sideline, he is a maniac. Yeah. He is in the face of referees. He's red-faced. He's not just yelling at his players. He's yelling at everything. And I feel like his football team plays that way. His football team plays on the verge of a personal foul or on the verge of, hey, we got to get the safety out of there. He's losing his damn mind. Did you see that play where their starting safety, their best player, just goes berserk?
Man,
they absolutely loses his mind.
They black out.
Yeah. They black out. And I think it's because their football coach does. It's like they absorb the identity of him. I thought that, and they need to, by the way, because they don't have a $35 million roster. Like, they have to play with a certain level of edge. They have a quarterback that's playing high-level football right now, and it's really, really hard to get off his spot and really, really hard to get him uncomfortable because they have a dominant X in Chaz Surratt as well. And they were able to run the football. Look, man, like, you have to really, really look at this football team. They went out to Oregon, and they set the physical tone. They out-physicaled the Dan Lanning football team in a game, by the way, that Lanning and Oregon get to kick their feet up the rest of their schedule. This was it for them. If they were going to go undefeated, it was because they got over Indiana. The rest of their schedule, the toughest opponent is travel. Like, it's like at Rutgers, and then we come home for Maryland or Wisconsin. It's not tough. So the fact that they went out there and out-executed that football team, out-physicaled that football team, out-rushed that football team, and out-defensed that football team, we have to realistically look at Indiana, and that's the way I look at them moving forward. Like a real football team, like a real program.
I'm going to try to fit in 2 questions here at the end. Number 1, am I an idiot for thinking USC can win the battle in the trenches against Notre Dame?
No, I don't think you're an idiot for it. They just rushed for almost 6.5 yards, or no, it was 6.5 yards a carry against Michigan, right? Another, really, really good defensive front, or historically good defensive front. So, no, I don't think you're an idiot for thinking that. I do think you are a little bit of an idiot for thinking that consistent performance is par for the course for Lincoln Riley.
Well, especially on the road, right?
Yeah, we're doing this right now at USC. We're due for a down tick at some point. Like at some point, it's something bad's gonna happen for this guy.
Yeah.
Normally, but no, they are running the ball. Like by the way, like all Lincoln Riley great football teams do. At Oklahoma, them dudes were chunking it up for 250 yards a game on the ground back in the day at his heyday as an offensive coordinator and head coach.
Fill in the blank for me on the way out. If Penn State is smart, they will hire who?
I think more importantly, if Penn State's smart, they wait. If Penn State's smart, they wait. They wait to see if Matt Rule's a real thing. Like, guys, if Matt Rule goes 7-5 or 8-4 at Nebraska this year, which I don't think is on the table, like if he's 9-3 and can't win the big ones, like why are y'all rushing to hire him? Why'd you rush to fire your football coach? I think you rushed to get him out of the building, so you better wait to hire the right guy, most importantly. Like, and I got into this debate with Penn State fans today. I know that this pressurized, you feel like you have to get a guy in there. There's a portal window. We don't want to lose the roster. We have to be good in January. Like, we have to get the parts together, all that good stuff. No. This football program has had 3 football coaches since 1966. Y'all need to vet this process. Y'all need to wait and wait it out and see all the results and then go get a guy. Because I think you're going to, at worst, be the second best job available this offseason. Like if and when they fire Billy Napier, I personally, because I'm biased SEC homer, I personally think Florida is a better job, proximity to talent, resources, conference, all that thing, right? But Penn State will be the second best job available. Don't rush into this one. Just wait, play it out.
Brooks Austin has been our guest. Always great stuff with the Film Guy. The Film Guy Network is where you can subscribe on YouTube. Hey, man, thanks for the time as always. Let's do this again soon.
No doubt. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Yeah, man. There he is. Brooks Austin's been our guest. Hey, we're excited to announce the return of the most patriotic award show on TV. It's the Fox Nation Patriot Awards that's coming back and better than ever. Hosted by our very own Sean Hannity. Thursday, November 6th, beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's at the Tillis Center in New York. Tickets are on sale right now at foxnation.com/Patriot Awards. That's foxnation.com/Patriot Awards. We had a record-setting show last year. This year's bigger and better than ever. Surprise guests, amazing new awards, and a special honor for the life and legacy of our friend Charlie Kirk. You're not going to want to miss it. Tickets now at foxnation.com/Patriot Awards, and we hope to see you there. Fun show, fast show, and we're back at it tomorrow. Hope you'll join us at 11 a.m. Eastern. Hot Mike Honey Withrow right here at OutKick.com.